June 30th, 1908. A fireball crossed the sky. Then the world exploded. Not metaphorically, literally. An explosion so powerful, it flattened an entire forest. Trees collapsed like matchsticks. Windows shattered hundreds of kilometers away. The shockwave circled the earth. People thought the end of the world had arrived. Yet when investigators finally reached the site, they found something impossible. No crater, no meteorite, no obvious source of the destruction. Just 80 million fallen trees. And one of history's greatest mysteries. This is the Tunguska explosion. The blast that left no crater. The event occurred in one of the most remote places on Earth, Siberia, near the Podkamennaya Tunguska River. A vast wilderness, almost uninhabited. This isolation would make the mystery even stranger, because there were few witnesses, and even fewer answers. On the morning of June 30th, people across Siberia saw something extraordinary. A brilliant object streaked across the sky. It was brighter than the sun. Some described it as blue. Others said white. Many said it left a fiery trail. Then came the explosion. A massive flash, a deafening boom, and a shockwave unlike anything they had experienced. Witnesses were thrown to the ground. Doors were ripped open. Horses panicked. People believed the sky itself had split apart. One man reportedly said, "The northern sky became covered in fire." Another said the ground shook beneath his feet. The force was extraordinary, and it happened in an era before nuclear weapons. No one had ever seen anything like it. Then came another strange phenomenon. For several nights afterward, the skies glowed. Across Europe, across Asia. People could read newspapers outdoors at midnight. Photographers captured images without artificial light. Something enormous had happened. But what? At first, the event received little attention. The region was remote. Russia was facing political turmoil, revolutions, war, economic struggles. Years passed. Then came an expedition. In 1927, a Soviet scientist named Leonid Kulev reached the site. He expected to find a crater, perhaps a giant meteorite. Instead, he found devastation. Trees had been flattened across more than 2,000 square kilometers, an area larger than many cities. But there was no impact crater. None. The trees formed a strange pattern. They radiated outward, like spokes of a wheel, as if an enormous explosion had occurred in the sky. Even stranger, at the center of the blast zone, some trees remained standing. Their branches had been stripped away, but their trunks remained upright, like charred telephone poles. This detail became crucial, because it suggested an airburst, an explosion above the ground, not an impact. The mystery deepened. Kulik searched for fragments. He found nothing. No giant meteorite, no obvious debris, no crater. The event seemed impossible. Then theories exploded. The first explanation was simple. A meteor. Perhaps a large space rock entered Earth's atmosphere. As it descended, pressure and heat caused it to explode, high above the ground. This theory explained the lack of a crater. It explained the radial destruction. It explained the standing trees. Today, this is the most accepted explanation. But there was a problem. Where were the fragments? A meteor that large should have left evidence. Investigators found almost nothing. Then came another theory. Perhaps it was a comet. Comets contain large amounts of ice. If an icy object exploded, most of it would vaporize, leaving little behind. This explanation seemed promising. Yet not everyone agreed. Then, the theories became stranger. Some suggested a miniature black hole. Perhaps it passed through Earth. Others proposed antimatter, a chunk of antimatter colliding with our planet. The resulting annihilation would release enormous energy. Again. No evidence. Then came perhaps the most famous theory. an alien spacecraft. Some believed an extraterrestrial vessel exploded above Siberia. Others claimed it intentionally detonated, sacrificing itself to save Earth. Science fiction embraced the idea. Books were written, movies were made, the legend grew, but no evidence supported it. Still, the mystery survived because the explosion was so bizarre. Then came another fascinating discovery. Modern estimates suggest the blast released between 10 and 15 megatons of energy, possibly more. That is hundreds of times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Imagine that, an explosion of nuclear-scale power over a forest in 1908. Yet almost nobody died, only because it happened in one of the most remote places on Earth. Had it occurred above London, Paris, or New York, the consequences would have been catastrophic. Entire cities could have been destroyed. This realization changed how scientists viewed the event. Tunguska was no longer just a mystery. It was a warning. Earth can be struck by objects from space, and some are capable of enormous destruction. Then another question emerged. Could it happen again? The answer is unsettling. Yes. Near-Earth objects regularly pass our planet. Most are harmless, some are not. Scientists now track thousands of asteroids. Planetary defense systems have been developed because Tunguska proved something terrifying. A relatively small cosmic object can release immense energy without warning. Then modern expeditions returned to Siberia. Researchers analyzed soil, studied tree growth, examined microscopic particles. Some evidence suggested extraterrestrial material, tiny traces, possible remnants of a cosmic object. Yet the exact nature of the object remains uncertain. Meteor, comet, something else entirely. No one knows, and perhaps no one ever will, because the explosion destroyed its own evidence. The object disintegrated, its fragments scattered, its secrets vanished, leaving behind only consequences, flattened forests, shocked witnesses, and unanswered questions. More than a century has passed, the trees have regrown, the forest is alive again. But the mystery remains. An object entered Earth's atmosphere, exploded with incredible force, flattened 80 million trees, created one of the largest explosions in recorded history, and left no crater, no obvious source, no definitive explanation, only theories, fragments, and an empty patch of Siberian wilderness. Because the greatest mystery of Tunguska is not that something exploded, it is that an event powerful enough to destroy a city occurred on Earth, and we still cannot say with certainty what caused it. A fireball crossed the morning sky. The ground shook. The forest fell. Then silence returned. And one haunting question still remains. What really exploded over Tunguska? On that summer morning in 1908,